of degrees. If there were not protective heat shields on the surface of this, it would disintegrate this and everybody inside it. So most satellites do not have those types of thermal protection systems because there's no humans aboard and no one cares. So what I would propose would be to repurpose one of these old junk satellites, using that to go capture other debris, and rather than the satellite itself incinerating it, having the satellite direct this debris back down into Earth's atmosphere and letting the atmosphere do the incineration for you. Does that,
I would say, if I were to build my own space incinerator, I would think about how I would want to catch all the satellites.
yes, that's
Do I want to use some robotic arm? Do I want to put a giant vacuum up there to suck it all up? And some sort of net? And NASA's actually working on something similar. They actually just launched a space net. They tested a space net to try and catch some satellites. So I think that would be the first thing I would want to define. How do I want to catch these satellites?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, things are moving so fast up there, and even though it seems like the debris is really dense, space is so big that, you know, things that may look close together on a map or a computer simulation, in reality are like thousands of miles apart. So you have things very far apart, moving very fast relative to one another. Catching those things is very hard. I think personally, some sort of net would be the way to go. And then basically using that net to just throw everything back into the atmosphere and let it burn up there. Yeah. So,
all right, Francisco.
Is there a type of metal strong enough to prevent debris from puncturing the shuttle if we made the shuttle out of the
So our research, okay, yes. So our researchers are working on making the strongest materials we can all of the time. We have something called an arc jet, which is basically a really, really strong laser that they use to cut through different materials to test out its property to see if it's tough enough for space. So you may know that diamonds are the hardest material that we have on Earth. Nothing can cut a diamond besides a diamond. We're always, but we can't, make this entire thing out of diamonds, right? It would be a little expensive. So we're always working on that.
So yeah. Well, that's a very difficult question to answer, because there probably is a material that could withstand an impact, but the problem is, how thick would that material need to be, and how much does it weigh? The greatest challenge in getting to space is weight. You need to cut down as much weight as you can, otherwise your rocket will never get off the ground no matter how much fuel you have. So basically the driving force in rocket science is basically playing with what's called a thrust to weight ratio. How much can you weigh and how much thrust can you get for that? So there probably is a material out there, but how much of that material you would need and how much it would weigh would probably prohibit it from being used.
That's a great point. It's a game and it's a trade-off.
It is always a trade-off. Yeah. So whether or not something actually exists, whether it's practical or not, that's the bigger question, and that, I think the answer is probably no. Yeah.
Anybody else? Right there.
What is that?
Pardell.
Pardell. Thank you. There's a weird glare.
If you could take off one little piece from the rocket ship, or any of the two, can you actually do it? Without,
can you say that a little louder? If we could take off of what?
If you could take off a piece of the rock, if any of the two rocket ships, could it, of anything, could it affect the ships?
Yes. So if we take off one of these thrusters, it's going to be, I believe the other one, it's going to be asymmetrical, and you're not going to have the right launch angle to get all the way into space. You may listen very symmetrical. You may notice the SLS also very symmetrical. That's very key in aerodynamics. Is you want, and also the planes we are in, and even the cars we drive, they're always symmetrical because that's going to let you go the furthest, the fastest. If it wasn't symmetrical, you wouldn't be able to get there.
Okay, and the thing I want to add to that is engineering is all about optimization. Everything that you see here, or you see here, or here, is there for a reason. There's nothing on any of these that does not serve a very specific purpose. So, no, you cannot remove anything here without there being some sort